Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach. So I still have all these books to finish reading and review. Just a lot of good stuff. But I just saw this TikTok where a woman who just got into comics last month in June 2025 showed all of the comics that she got in June in order and explained why. And it is a fascinating time capsule of what I consider to be the story of 2025, which is a new generation of comic book fans getting into comics. Now, yesterday I said that my theory, but I'm very, very open to counter theories or more information or corrections, whatever, is that it's not a single. Like, I got into comics because I liked the G.I. Joe toys, and then they had a G.I. Joe cartoon. Wait, was it a cartoon? No, I think it was the animated commercials were right before the cartoon. So they show, G.I. Joe, and it's animated, and then at the end, it turns into the cover of the book. And so I was like, oh, I gotta go get G.I. Joe. And everybody has their own different entry into comics. But one of the things I really like about this woman's TikTok is that it was very clearly organic. There was this weird phenomenon. It was a while ago, during the SJW era, where SJWs would I went to the comic book store and then they would show off what they bought, and it was always meta. It wasn't just these books look cool. It would always be the last 5 creators that insulted Ethan Van Sciver, and I just bought their books. So it would be different companies, different genres. There would be all ages books in there. And it's okay, I get it. You're trying to zing Ethan. Or it'd be just went to the comic book shop. I love comics. And their books would just be the last 5 race swaps or gender swaps or sexuality swaps. It's okay, I get it. Everything has to be some dumb Twitter war. But the way this woman showed her first months of comics was completely organic, and it does seem to hew to my broad theory of where these new comic book fans are coming from. And it's a combination of Absolute and Ultimate, the new version of Ultimate, Marvel Rivals, and then the Superman and Fantastic Four movies, which both look like they're going to be very popular with crowds. So this is just now she was a little disjointed because she showed another book, and then in the middle of the TikTok she's well, this is the first one. So she started with Crypto, the Last Dog of Krypton, and she basically was it was not spoken, but there's a lot of promotion for Superman stuff, and Crypto is in the movie, so Crypto is kind of in the zeitgeist more than he has been since the Crypto cartoon from 20 years ago. And I don't know, I'm guessing she was around 30 or so. It's kind of hard to tell because the fashion right now is a lot of granny glasses. So you're oh, look at this grandma. It's no, she's 30. So they kind of dress like grandmas. Old hippie aunts or grandmas. But I'm going to estimate she was around 30 because she was talking about, hey, remember Crypto the Super Dog? It's that was 20 years ago. But that would line up if she was 30, that she would have watched that. So she was basically I really like Crypto, and he's in the news, in the zeitgeist on social media right now. So she had, just with me, I like the G.I. Joe toys, so it's a pretty easy sell to get me to get the comic. Crypto is really in the news, and she likes Crypto, so she went to go get a Crypto comic. Now, please look at the screen. This filled me with so much rage because these compact comics are not on the Russian pirate sites, so you can't get a nice, clear, image of the cover. So I kept searching, and I thought I finally found one, but it is both low resolution and square, because this was from the Walmart site. And I, like when I clicked on it and it opened up like this, I can't explain. I just like imagine going to my cardiologist. He's like, there seems to have been some sort of event recently. It's like, yeah, I was trying to find just a cover of the Batman Hush compact comics, and all I got was this low resolution crap in the wrong aspect ratio. It's like, yeah, this is a common complaint we get here at my clinic. So the next book she got was the Batman. So I think I should include these compact comics that are sold everywhere I go. They're at, Walmart. They're at every GameStop, geek, bric-a-brac store. I've seen them at airports. They're like $10. And very, like, actually, that would probably be the one of the huge stories right now, the success of this line. So then, so we got a character she grew up liking who is back in the zeitgeist. Then you got a popular story that is available everywhere, very affordable. Then it sounds like she started like actually kind of like talking to, so she'll talk about like, the comic shop owner said Tom Taylor was really good and I really like this art. So she got Dark Knights of Steel, and then Fantastic Four movie, Silver Surfer. Even if it's Shala Ball, there's more talk about this Silver Surfer than there's been in 15, 20 years. So she picks up this. Then she picks up Absolute Superman #1, Summer of Superman Special, Superman Unlimited 1 and 2, and then this is the final one, which is New History of the DC Universe. And I gotta say, the timing of this book could not be more perfect. I see this getting shouted out on TikTok over and over. Like, it's just as you're getting this new audience, there's a new history that will catch them up on everything. When I first got into, when I started collecting like on a weekly basis, I believe it was the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, but it was like the updated, I think it was the updated version. And I love that so much. I read it. I thought that version was better than the original version. But yeah, so this is something I'm going to continue to look into, because I consider this to be, not just a story for like right now, but this might be, because traditionally, look at something like Dogman or Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Now those have a shorter life cycle. A kid might like those books for like 3 years before he thinks they're babyish. But then his little brother likes those books, and then his little sister. And then with comics, it was a longer, because there might be like, back in the day, it might be like 10 years that you were in the comics, 5 to 10 years. But then again, there would be another generation. But because of a bunch of different things, including primarily comics not being on the newsstand anymore, I just had a thought. Do you think by coughing, like the algorithm with YouTube, it's like a problem? It probably registers as some sort of, not very good audio quality. Maybe it gets downgraded because of that. It's like 8 years too late, but I just thought about that. But this is really cool art. I don't like the yellow tinge. I think that's supposed to signify nostalgia. But I just think of pee. So I would have just gone with just representational colors for this. But it does unify the piece when you do filters like that. But yeah, I mean, because that's, you skip a generation, or really several generations. Because like one of the ways people would get me to shut up, it's like, Zach's complaining about comics and comics are made for kids. And I'm like, comics haven't been made for kids since I was a kid. Like, I was really, well, maybe just like there was one more generation after me that got into comics, and then it was just broken. There just, there was no newsstand, and then, there was just 5 years of really, really bad comics. And, but you got a populace that is primed to not think comics are stupid because of they grew up with MCU movies. Superman and Fantastic Four look like good, solid superhero movies. So there's a general good feeling about comic books as a medium. And if you think about it, like comics, if you take away Culture War, by the way, I avoided Culture War for like 3 days. And then I watched just like a clip of like one show, and it wasn't just infuriating, but it was also like, it was so silly. Like everyone talks in these really bombastic voices. I'm like, why does this sound familiar? It's like, oh yeah, this is like the host of a children's show. So instead of saying like new history of the DC universe, they'd be like, new history of the DC universe. It's like, why are you talking like that? Isn't your audience like people your age? And everyone's kind of like playing a character. But one of the things that I really like about this new comic book audience is, like I said yesterday, they're kind of like the classic quiet nerd. But also like they have like regular voices. They just kind of talk about things, and it's organic. It's very organic. I grew up, I like this character, Crypto. He's, on social media now. So then I buy a book with Crypto. Then I go, then there's these compact editions that I kind of noticed all the time, but I finally picked them up. And then I go to the comic book store and he recommends this. So you see a through line of them mostly liking DC stuff with just a little bit of Marvel, but it's the, summer, they call it SUPERFANTASTIC. The summer of Superman and Fantastic Four. And it's just a good time. It's a really good time to get into comics. And again, I have this friend who says, like, say something true in a different way than people usually say it. If you think about it, like, comics is like a really fun hobby. It's these very affordable stories with different art styles, these like very intriguing, iconic characters. And even just like, I went to Half Price Books in Corpus a few weeks ago, mate. And it was just so fun. I kind of forgot how fun it is just to go through, some long boxes, or what there it's like a custom made wooden cabinet. And then just like, then you kind of get your little stack, and everyone else is getting their little stack, and then you go up there, it's like, and they're cool. Like, you can display them, you can put them in long boxes, you can just kind of put them on a table. It's like a conversation starter. I've noticed nobody like doesn't notice comics. Like if you got comics on the kitchen table, on the coffee table, like people will be talking and they'll kind of pick them up, flip through them, continue the conversation. There's something very appealing about comics, especially if you can, gosh, I saw this thing. I hope it's not AI, because it's like a dream job. It's like whales, and they have this rotating brush, it looks like from a car wash, and it knocks the barnacles off. And they come off a lot easier than I thought the barnacles were like on there. But no, not really. Apparently, well, it might have been AI. But that's my dream job, just having this rotating brush and just... I think it was AI because the whales were being very good. They were just kind of staying still. Like, I think they would swim away, or they would like wiggle around. But anyway, you're always going to get a wide variety of topics. But I really do think just comics, floppies especially, floppies about superheroes, it's really this amazing thing. And if you can scrape away the barnacles of culture war, you just see this beautiful beluga whale of a hobby. I think those were probably AI. I don't think they would come off that easily. And like it was like a clean sweep, literally. Like there was never the brush got like most of them, and then one of them just was just like really stuck. Like they all came off. Yeah, that was probably AI. Still, that's a dream job right there. But yeah, my thesis is I'm very happy. I'm very happy that things are good, that a new audience, and I want to continue to. I don't want to say investigate. I'm trying to be very careful with this audience. I don't want to spook them away. That's why I'm not doing any screen captures, because they will get caught up in some culture war. Jesus. Mark Millar is, or he did interview Eric July. The video is supposed to come out this weekend. And in the comments when he announced it, both sides just looked like complete and utter assholes. And I don't want any of this new generation to be bothered like that, so I'm never. And people have said like, "Oh, how can I go see this?" It's not like YouTube where it's like a channel with like tens of thousands. Most of these people have like 830 followers. They're just regular people who like something. They're not like, "Do you want to know?" Like, and it's not just as like, again, I'm trying to, not concentrate on that stupid part. Well, I don't even consider it a part of comics. It's just. Again, it's just some barnacle attached to the outside of it. But like they all have normal voices. They have like shy nerd voices. Like, hi, I went to the comic book store and this is what I got. It's like, that's it. Oh, wait, sorry. Don't want to scare you away. That's it. Anyway, thanks for watching.